I was talking to some of my friends today, and they were saying how bad they felt for Kayla Nicole. Like, he did her dirty. No lie, no tea, no shade. Their relationship, dirty.
Oh, there was a rumor that they were saying that you stopped messing with him at one point because of 50-50.
Oh, the splitting the bills.
The splitting 50-50, yeah, the 50-50
Yeah.
rumor. What was the tea on that?
Yeah, do I look like anybody that would split anything?
So you guys broke up at that point because...
No, this is the question. Do I look like I would go 50-50 on bills?
What's wrong with that?
Okay. So yeah, that was ridiculous. But he addressed that too, though.
So
that was, I
parents-
don't even know why that even became a thing. Yeah, that was never an issue in our relationship, but it was definitely a rumor on the internet.
Travis Kelce just shook the whole internet. He's officially set to marry Taylor Swift, and the announcement came straight from her Instagram. The picture pulled in over 30 million likes in record time, sparking conversations across the globe. But while fans are celebrating this fairy tale ending, another storm is brewing, and her name is Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole isn't just some random ex. She's the woman Kelce was with off and on for 5 years. She's a well-known black media personality who held it down while Travis was still building his brand, and now people are side-eyeing the fact that he's ditching his longtime type to put a ring on one of the world's most famous white pop stars. Folks online aren't staying quiet either. The debates are loud, emotional, and messy. In one viral clip, a woman laid it out clear as day. Travis Kelce did Kayla Nicole wrong, and that sentiment is spreading fast, especially among black women who feel like Kayla was played.
Now everyone knows that Taylor Swift got engaged today, and she was engaged to Travis Kelce. But to me, like, that's not the interesting part. I was talking to some of my friends today, and they were saying how bad they felt for Kayla Nicole. Like, he did her dirty. No lie, no tea, no shade. Their relationship, dirty. I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but he cheated on her, wouldn't pay for things, just bad overall. And he went and treated Taylor Swift like a queen. That's all we've seen.
The accusations are flying that he wasted years of her life, cheated behind her back, and even had the nerve to make her pay her own way during the relationship. People are heated, calling it a slap in the face after all that time and loyalty she gave him. Now the world is split. Some are celebrating the Swift-Kelce engagement like it's a Disney movie, while others are calling it a cold betrayal that proves Kayla got the short end of the deal. The tension is thick, and it's only getting louder as more voices jump in, and then people point out the pattern. Within a couple years, Travis is right back with a white woman. Some are saying it's the same story we've seen 100 times. A black woman pours into a man, helps him shine, and then he flips the script once he's at the top. And when the switch happens, the women left behind start feeling played like they were just placeholders until the main event. That's the sting folks are talking about. But here's where the commentary gets wild. One voice online broke it down cold. She claimed Kayla Nicole set herself up for disappointment because she showed him she wanted it too badly, and he didn't have to give her much in return. According to this take, the blame doesn't just sit with Travis. Kayla allowed herself to ride along without demanding more. And that's why, in this person's words, it all fell apart.
I don't know. I can't feel bad for her. At the end of the day, she wanted to be a wag. She allowed him to make her pay for half of everything to prove that she wasn't in it for the money. She put up with the cheating, which people do all the time. But the biggest thing is she proved to that man that she was willing to do whatever to stay with him. And he allowed it, because why wouldn't he? So when you put up with whatever from a man, you can't be surprised when they do.
Then came the harshest part, the drag session. Critics started digging up old interviews where Kayla allegedly bragged about not cooking, not cleaning, and straight up saying, "If you want me to do something, pay me." Now imagine trying to sell yourself as wife material while pushing that line. People are saying no man, especially one with Kelce's status and access, is gonna settle down with that. The streets are calling her out, saying she looks good but brings nothing to the table. And this ain't just whispers. Folks are openly saying nobody keeps Kayla around because she's all take and no give. They're framing it like Travis finally did what other men in her past already did, walked away. Suddenly the story isn't about love lost, it's being painted as Kayla being exposed for overplaying her hand. But here's the kicker. Now people are twisting it into a race issue, like Travis dating Taylor is proof he betrayed black women everywhere. But the clapback is brutal. Where was that same energy when he stayed with Kayla for 5 years straight? One commentator even said they're glad someone finally called it out, because in their eyes, this was never about race. It was about Kayla Nicole not living up to the role she wanted so badly.
Congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on their engagement. Much love and success in a long marriage, hopefully. But I'm going to attack what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to congratulate Taylor Swift while condemning Travis Kelce. That man does not have to explain why he's dated nothing but women of color and black women and ended up engaged to a white woman. He doesn't have to explain that. The problem is, y'all are so quick, like I always say on this app, y'all are so bad on condemning black men and thinking white men are going to save you, especially the rich ones. Oh, y'all think the rich ones all of y'all think y'all going to be Eve and Serena Williams. So if Travis Kelce used black women for a decade to get his rocks off and marries a white woman, good on him. He knows where his loyalties lie. He don't owe Kayla Nicole or the plethora and harem of black women who think that they are desirable to other races outside of black men. That is the delusion that y'all make up because y'all get these degrees. Y'all think y'all are better than black men. And time again, majority of white men and other races around the world show y'all that they're going to be loyalty to them and theirs. Y'all need to pick up the lesson.
Now let's give credit where it's due. Shout out to Leo Grand Prince Zero because he came through spitting nothing but facts. He said what a lot of folks were too scared to say. Y'all cheer on Taylor Swift, but at the same time throw shade at Travis Kelce when really this whole thing ain't even about race. Here's the truth people don't want to hear. The woman you date for fun is not always the woman you marry. Every man knows there's a difference between somebody you're vibing with for a season and somebody you're ready to build a lifetime with. And in Kelce's eyes, Kayla Nicole just didn't make that cut. Look at how it's being framed. Taylor represents stability, respect, and that wifey image that works in his world. Meanwhile, critics are pointing to Kayla Nicole's Instagram, saying the type of photos she posts scream independent baddie more than future wife. And for a man like Travis, trying to lock down his legacy while staying in the good graces of sponsors, that's a risky look. It's not that Kayla didn't shine, it's that she didn't fit what he wanted for forever. And this is where people are getting heated. Taylor Swift might have more money than Travis will ever touch, but folks believe she'd still sacrifice and adjust for him. If he said, "I need this," she'd probably do it without hesitation. Cooking, cleaning, standing by him on the sidelines, even though she doesn't have to, she'd be willing. That's the image that sells wife material to someone in his position. Meanwhile, Kayla openly admitted before, "I don't cook, I don't clean," and wanted a man to pay her for her efforts. That type of energy might play on Instagram, but when it comes to building a family, critics say it doesn't hold weight. And the harshest take? People are saying the ones crying the loudest over this relationship shift are the same ones who don't have much going on for themselves, projecting their frustrations onto Travis and Taylor's engagement. Let's keep it all the way real. Outside of Travis Kelce, nobody's really checking for Kayla Nicole. The buzz around her doesn't exist unless his name is attached to it. Look at her podcast numbers. They're struggling. The engagement isn't there, the traction isn't there, and the truth is, she's 30 plus now, and critics are saying 10 years from now, she'll be a distant memory in this industry. That's the harsh reality people are putting out there. Kayla's whole image comes off like, what about me? Me, me, me. She's lumped in with that wave of Instagram personalities, pretty face, influencer vibes, chasing brand deals, but with no real power or leverage in the bigger game. And when you're in that lane, people start labeling you as replaceable. Because in their eyes, if you're not bringing something solid to the table, you're just another scroll by post. Yes, Kayla's gorgeous. No one can deny she's easy on the eyes. But when we're talking about long-term partnerships, building families, and legacies, beauty alone isn't enough. And that's the very criticism being fired at her. That she brings looks, but not the qualities men like Travis prioritize when it's time to pick a forever partner. And just when the world was celebrating the engagement news, Kayla Nicole decided to post something of her own. And that's when the conversation got even louder. People immediately dissected her message, trying to figure out if it was a subtle clapback, a cry for attention, or straight up shade aimed at Travis and Taylor. So Kayla drops this cryptic little post talking about joy is different from happiness. Happiness is something you can grab at 7-Eleven, but joy is something you earn, something you practice. Joy is an attitude, a perspective, a lens I choose to live through. Deep words, right? But let's be real. Everybody knew exactly what she was doing with that message.
I work at it. I think joy is different from happiness. I feel like happiness is something you can get at 7-Eleven, and joy is something that you earn and work for and takes practice. I feel like joy has legs. I feel like joy has feet. I feel like joy has roots. I feel like joy creates space and allows room for more than just a good day. I think joy is an attitude. I think joy is a perspective. And I think joy is a lens through which I live and look at my life.
Commentators wasted no time breaking it down. They said Kayla just joined the same line as Tracy Ellis Ross and Tia Mowry, the single and searching, but let's rebrand it as Empowerment Club. That's the ticket they handed her. Welcome to the group of women who lost a man, but act like it's all about self-discovery now. And the dragging didn't stop there. People said straight up, this is how losers talk. When you get beat out by somebody bigger, richer, and more established, suddenly it turns into, well, I've still got joy. But let's not sugarcoat it. Kayla got edged out by Taylor Swift fair and square. He upgraded in status, in image, and in lifestyle, and he hasn't looked back once. Meanwhile, Kayla's trying to spin it like she's unbothered. But critics keep reminding her of the scoreboard. Travis is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He might have lost to the Eagles once, but he's still holding rings, plural. Kayla, she's got no rings, no husband, no championship-level partner anymore. And on top of that, she can't compete with Taylor's power. Taylor has hundreds of millions of fans worldwide. Kayla doesn't even have 1 million followers locked in. That's not just a gap, that's a canyon. And the harsh truth critics are pushing is simple. Kayla's cryptic joy over happiness speech isn't inspiring. It's her way of shifting the goalposts after losing in love and in the spotlight. And whether she admits it or not, people see right through it. Let's call it what it is. Travis Kelce leveled up. He found someone who gave him more, stood by him more, and in his eyes brought more value to the table. That's the reality when you're a high-value man. If one woman refuses to meet his needs, another one will step in without hesitation. That's the game, and Travis played it to win. But here's the catch that people keep pointing out. Men like Travis are always working on themselves. He's training, building his brand, stacking rings, and expanding his name beyond football. Meanwhile, critics say Kayla Nicole stayed the same over the years, relying on looks and vibes instead of growth and substance. When you don't develop, when you don't elevate, the gap between you and a man on the rise only gets wider, and that's when you get left behind. And when that happens, you've got two choices. Admit your mistakes and learn from the L, or shift the narrative to make it look like you're still in control. Kayla's being accused of doing the second, deflecting instead of reflecting. Instead of saying, okay, I could have done this differently, she's jumping on her podcast with 5,000 to 10,000 views, talking circles around topics that don't hit, while Travis is out here grabbing headlines worldwide with Taylor Swift on his arm. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. People are mocking that old phrase, once you go black, you never go back. Travis Kelce just proved it wrong in real time. He spent 5 years with Kayla Nicole, then pivoted to one of the most famous white women in the world and never looked back. That's the part that stings the most for her supporters. All the workouts, all the curves, all the image building still couldn't lock him down. And now the conversation has flipped. Instead of being the woman by his side as he cements his legacy, Kayla is watching from the sidelines while he writes the next chapter of his story with someone else. At the end of the day, Travis made his choice. Whatever Kayla Nicole had going on, he left that right with her. And truth be told, most men in his position would do the exact same thing. Plenty of men would rather build with a partner they find attractive enough who actually wants to be in a relationship than waste time with somebody who's all about Instagram clout and self-promotion. Think about it. Nobody wants to deal with a partner who's constantly saying, I'm not going to cook, I'm not going to clean, I'm not going to do this or that. Like, hold up. So the man is supposed to do everything while you just look good? That kind of energy gets old real quick. And honestly, nobody with real value is signing up for that long term. You got to bring something else to the table besides selfies and attitude. And that's where the comparison comes in. Taylor Swift may not need to play housewife, But people believe she's willing to step into that role for Travis because she wants the relationship. That willingness alone gives her the edge. Kayla, on the other hand, kept setting boundaries of what she wouldn't do, and eventually, Travis called her bluff. It's the same principle you see in business. I remember being in a meeting once where I wanted a partnership. I told the company, look, I don't want you taking financial risk. Let me put all my skin in the game. I'll handle the execution. If you like the results, then we'll build from there. That approach showed commitment. It showed I was invested. Meanwhile, another guy in the room thought I was wrong. He couldn't understand why I didn't demand money up front. But here's the thing, real partnerships work when you show value first. And that's exactly the lesson here. In relationships, just like business, if you're not putting in effort, if you're not offering real value, you will get replaced. Travis didn't just upgrade women, he upgraded his partnership strategy. Back in that business meeting, I told them straight up, I'll put my own money in. Why? Because we had no leverage. Asking for a budget or stalling would have made us look weak. If you're trying to secure something greater than what you have to be willing to compromise, invest, and prove your worth. That's the only way powerful people take you seriously. And that right there is the perfect parallel with Kayla Nicole. She's not willing to compromise to win anybody over. The receipts are there. She got beat out before when Iman Shumpert chose Teyana Taylor, and now history repeats itself. She loses Travis Kelce to Taylor Swift. It's a pattern people can't ignore. And critics are saying she keeps catching L's against women who have more money, more status, and more access. And let's be real, when you're going up against women of that level, the game changes. Travis choosing Taylor Swift isn't some mystery. She's a global superstar with an empire, and she's playing the long-term partner role in a way Kayla never wanted to. Just like Iman locked in with Tiana, Travis locking in with Taylor is the easy, logical move for a man at his level. It's not even a hard choice, and that's what makes it sting even more. The uncomfortable truth, many women think successful men will bend over backwards to tolerate their bare minimum effort or narrow view of the world. But when a man is growing, when he's expanding his brand and leveling up his life, he wants a partner who matches that energy. If you're not willing to adjust, if you're not bringing more than looks and attitude, you're not gonna last. And Kayla Nicole, critics say she learned that the hard way twice. At the end of the day, it's simple. When a man works hard, builds his name, and grinds for success, he expects a partner who makes his life better. It's not just about looks, it's about value. So if the only energy coming his way is, well, what about me? What am I getting out of it? Then guess what? He's checking out. That self-centered attitude doesn't keep a man of Travis Kelce's caliber around for long. And that's exactly the point people keep hammering home. A man with options isn't going to settle for someone who drains him instead of elevating him. You can stay good looking, post pictures, and keep the followers entertained, but to him, you're replaceable, period. That's why Kelce bounced and did better for himself. He wanted more, and when Kayla didn't give it, he upgraded to someone who would. That's the brutal truth people don't want to hear. But it's the pattern we keep seeing play out over and over again, and that's the bottom line. Travis Kelce didn't just switch partners, he switched lanes. He went from 5 years of off and on chaos with Kayla Nicole to a clean, headline-shaking engagement with Taylor Swift, one of the most famous women alive, and people can call it unfair, people can say it's racial, people can even say he used Kayla, but the reality is this. Travis picked the woman who fit the next chapter of his life, and Kayla wasn't it. Let's be real. Taylor doesn't need Travis for money, clout, or fame. She already has an empire that dwarfs his. But that's exactly why the move works. She's willing to play the role, stand beside him, and still let him shine as his own man. Meanwhile, Kayla's critics are dragging her for being stuck on Instagram vibes, cryptic posts, and podcast episodes that barely move the needle. The comparison is brutal, but it's what the internet thrives on. The wife upgrade versus the sideline fade out. Now the story isn't just about love. It's about legacy, image, and how men at the top choose their partners. And whether you agree with it or not, Kelce's engagement is proof that when you don't bring long-term value to the table, somebody else will. But the real question is Kayla Nicole truly done, or is she plotting a comeback move to snatch the spotlight back? Because in this game, one viral post, one new romance, one big scandal could flip the narrative overnight. And if you want every detail of how this saga keeps unfolding, don't blink. We'll have it all right here on BarzBuzz, where the drama never sleeps.